interesting. But let's go ahead and talk about this. The big story of the morning. It broke a couple of minutes ago. Joe Flacco is now a Cincinnati Bengal, my friend. The Bengals, for the past couple of weeks, including Zach Taylor, he ended up teasing the fact that he wasn't necessarily committing to Jake Browning for the remainder of the season. And lo and behold, they make a move. They sent over a 5th-round pick in exchange for Joe Flacco and a 6th. A lot of storylines coming out of this move from Cincinnati. But here's the deal, right? This does nothing for the Cincinnati Bengals. This does absolutely nothing for that team. You look at Flacco, right? He's coming from behind a way better offensive line than Cincinnati has to offer. And he was struggling. His old ass was out there struggling. I love that T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are on the team for him. But do we really think that Joe Flacco is going to improve this team's chances by any stretch of the imagination? I like their effort, right? Especially since the front office hasn't been able to hit on a single draft pick for the past 3 years. Might as well shell out that draft capital. Flacco's not saving this team. It doesn't make sense to me. This does make for a pretty interesting storyline with Shedeur Sanders is now the official QB2 for Cleveland. We'll save that for next. But let's go around the table and talk about this. Was this a good move for Cincinnati? Does this change your perception of this team? Richie, talk to me.
Yeah, it does a little bit, just from the standpoint of the Bengals, as we know, have a really good system around the quarterback position. Outside of the offensive line, they got the weapons, and they already have 2 wins. So what are they, 2-3 now? That's not far off. They're not like 0-5 or 1-4. You know, they're right in it, and the AFC is wide open. The Bengals are trying to stay afloat because another thing you have to add, Joe Burrow's not done for the season. Joe Burrow's coming back, and the Bengals are trying to make sure they're at least in the hunt for when Joe Burrow does return. So this is one of those things that I think it's a low risk, high reward. It's an upgrade of Jake Browning. Jake Browning had a cool moment last year. So you shouldn't have got me. And now he's just been like trash, right? So I think that, you know, Zachary brings up a great point. Are we Jamar Chase fantasy owners happy with this Joe Flacco move? I would say yes. Joe Flacco slings it. And when Joe Flacco's with the Jets, Garrett Wilson was going off too. So I think that for fantasy perspective with Jamar, I like it. He's not a great quarterback, Joe Flacco, but he just lets it sling. He lets that thing sling, and I don't think Jake Browning was able to do just that. I don't see the Bengals winning a bunch of games now all of a sudden, but it gives them a better chance with Jake Browning. That's my thoughts.
See, one thing that makes me optimistic is that I did draft Jamar Chase first overall in fantasy football this year, and he's been a no-show. Although that I have come off of an incredible victory off of fantasy football this previous week. But yeah, dude, you know what? I don't really see this translating into wins for this Bengals team, but I don't know. Let's see if this experiment works. I doubt it, though. TD, what's up?
The Bengals are back, baby. They are back, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, is Joe Flacco great? No, but he better than Jake Browning. He gives them the best chance to win right now. And with these weapons, you got to keep them happy, too. You didn't waste all this money on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins just to let them sit over there and rot until Burrow gets back. You need a guy who can come out here and maybe go 500 until Burrow gets back. When is Burrow even expected to come back?
December range.
Yeah, like
Best
for
case
my
scenario,
understanding,
December.
wasn't it like December 7th versus Buffalo or something? Everybody was eyeing that day. And that's 5 games left. That gives them 5 games left. So they got 7 games right now. And when you look at those 7 games, you can't tell me you can't tell me he can't beat the Jets. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me that. You can't tell me he can't beat the Bears potentially. You know, and then you got games like Green Bay and Pittsburgh twice, you know, division rivals. Those are tough games, but they're division rivals. It could happen. So all he has to do is win 3 games. 3 out of 7 games gives them 5 wins, and then they hope Burrow can go 5-0. And that's a long stretch, but you got to give the team a chance. And who's to say he won't win 4 games? maybe even 5. You don't know. They got weapons. He's going to sling that rock. They might put up some points. He going to have games where he look phenomenal with those weapons, and he going to have games where he throwing picks with those weapons. But this is just a matter of, can you win us 4? And if you get 5, oh my gosh. But if it's 3, that's tough, but it is what it is. Like that's all they're asking for, is still to have hope when Burrow comes back. So listen, man, this was a perfect move. Expiring contract. I'm sure Atlanta's paying a lot of it. They'll be fine. I think that you know what? People on their schedule were like, oh yeah, the Bengals win. Now it's like, well, it's gonna be a little tougher game. So I like this for the Bengals. Don't give up. You done put too much money on this year to just say Burrow killed it. No, this is the perfect move for the team.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's not just it, because another storyline coming out is that Shedeur Sanders is now QB2 for the Cleveland Browns, right? And look, like we were talking about how Dylan Gabriel, of course, not helping his team get a victory over in London was not all that bad. However, I'm still kind of curious, right? I am still of the belief that Shedeur will get a shot. And I'm kind of curious with you guys to see what game will we see Shedeur get his shot if we do not trust the Cleveland Browns to go on any sort of a win streak. They have the Steelers next week away, which is less than ideal. You have the Dolphins. You have the Patriots. You have 2 games, I think, that are pretty winnable. Well, actually, this Dolphins game. Pats game should be interesting with the Browns defense. The Jets, and then the Baltimore Ravens. My guess, hear me out, Shedeur is the starter for the Cleveland Browns by November 23rd against the Las Vegas Raiders away. TD, thoughts?
First off, I have a really bad.
I want to go.
I have a really bad admission right now. Somebody sent me the wrong image of the breaking news, and you want to know who they sent me? That whole time of what I was talking about, I didn't know I was talking about Flacco.
Yeah, you mentioned the Falcons. You thought it was Kirk Cousins?
They sent me Kirk Cousins. I'm thinking we were talking about
I was
Kirk
about
Cousins.
to say.
You did mention Falcons, gosh. And I was like,
man, the Bengals screwed, man. Why would they bring in Flacco?
Yeah, he's changing it all. He's changing his. Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
What did you see?
That's why when you said Shedeur is QB2, I'm like, what's going on? And then I'm like, oh, my gosh. Are we – bro, the people, man, this AI stuff is getting ridiculous, man.
It is. It is actually.
But into Shedeur Sanders being number 2, Dan, the timeline might have just moved up. The timeline might have moved up more than we ever thought. It might officially be somewhere around week 9 now, 8 or 9. Because, and let me tell you why, because it's not just Dylan Gabriel, how he plays moving forward. Any injury risk, and you put that kid on the field and he shows spark, you can't go back. Anything that happens, like, and you know what? This is good. They are smart. Get rid of Flacco. You got your 2 young guys. Shedeur is the official number 2, backing him up. Now, if they bring in another quarterback and still keep him as emergency, then they disrespected him officially. I've always been one of those individuals that have defended the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they've really been disrespecting Shedeur all this time. If they really felt like there were character issues or questions about him as a person, then how do you weed through that? Knowing the guy has talent, you take him through the ringers. And if he breaks, he'll show him his true self. And so far, I just feel like he's done what he was supposed to do, come to work, do his job. Now he's the number 2 quarterback right behind Dylan Gabriel. Something goes wrong, Dylan doing bad after 2 or 3 weeks, he gets an opportunity eventually. If Dylan gets hurt, he gets an opportunity. And I'm going to tell y'all now, all Shedeur is waiting on is that first starting opportunity. And if he gets that, you better look out, because I know he's going to do everything in his power to never give it up. Never give it up. Play that well. So we'll see how that all ends up. Everybody getting their shot, though, and that's a good thing. I love that Dylan Gabriel got his shot, and I feel like he passed his first shot, and he got to keep that going. He did a good job. But Shedeur, we'll see. If you get an opportunity, better make the best of it.